guys, we're in Australia now. Blood splatters down the side of one of her legs.
Very, very tall entity, very dark as well. Tends to be described as a big black silhouette.
Also been told sometimes they'll pop their heads over these shower cubicles. Is there anyone in this room with me?
All of my attention about 30 seconds ago went to just in front of that trolley there where the wheel is.
600 people died here. I don't know what that was. Was that even in here? Hi guys, thank you for tuning into AmysCrypt. Tonight I am headed to Sydney's quarantine station, today known simply as Q Station, which is thought to be one of the most haunted places in Australia. Okay guys, so we're just walking over to the Q Station now, and I do just want to give a very big thank you and special shout out to the Q Station for having me tonight and granting me this opportunity to head in and investigate this very haunted location. If you're ever in the Sydney area and want to learn a bit more about Aussie history, I highly recommend checking this place out. They also do nightly ghost tours and they are amazing. So definitely check that out. I'm going to link them below so you can have a more look at what they do. Before we head into the quarantine station, I do want to give you a bit of history background on this place as well as its hauntings, because there's a lot going on here. This is thought to be one of the most haunted places in the whole country. Now, it dates back to the early 1800s when it opened as a quarantine station, with its purpose being to protect everyone already living in Australia from immigrants coming in and bringing new disease. A lot of people did come through the station, a lot of people died here. This place was open up until the 1980s. So for a very, very long time it was open, and today all of its structures still stand as an omen and a place people can come and learn about some Australian history. It's actually documented that 600 people died here. Out of the approximate 26,000 people that passed through the quarantine station, this number is actually thought to be higher in reality because there were a number of deaths that would not have been documented here during the station's early days. Sadly, a lot of people did spend their final days here in agonized pain. They died from a variety of diseases. There was the bubonic plague, smallpox, influenza, typhoid. There was a whole load of diseases that people brought here from all corners of the world. People would be brought here for quarantine if they arrived on a ship where even just one person fell ill during the journey, and they would be quarantined here for up to 40 days before they could officially enter Australia. Those arriving in first class actually had their own private cabin, so they spent a pretty luxurious stay here, though most people didn't. They were put into dormitories where up to 60 people would sleep at a time, and this just heightened the chance that diseases would spread and that others would become infected. Given the background and history of this place, it really comes as no surprise that this is thought to be one of the most haunted places in the country. There's been so much death and misfortune here that it makes sense that it has a ghost or two. Now, there have been so many claims of paranormal activity to come out of the Q Station. They do nightly ghost tours, and a lot of the attendees on these tours have reported to have experiences, as well as the tour guides and the staff that work here. There's been a lot of people to cite apparitions, and a lot of these have even been captured in photographs, quite clearly as well, I must add. There's a lot of different spirits thought to haunt the station. We have nurses, we have soldiers, we have immigrants, and there's even thought to be up to 20 children's spirits here as well. This place is very active, and a lot of people have come here and had experiences to the extent that they've felt so overwhelmed or even so sick that they couldn't enjoy their stay here and had to cut it short and leave. Without giving away too many of the ghost stories or talking too much about the other hauntings, I think the best thing that we can do is to head in and explore and investigate this place. Alright guys, we're about to head into our first room here on the tour of the Q Station, and this is supposedly a very haunted one. It's also very interesting, so let me take you inside. Before I roll the next clip, I wanted to make a note that we received strange activity from the moment we stepped foot into the quarantine station. Watch carefully as we investigate this first building. Here, we picked up multiple glitches and sound interference on my camera. This hasn't happened before or synths to this camera or the equipment we were using. We received minor glitches in other supposedly haunted places throughout the night, though majority occurred in this room. Do you believe this could have been a technical glitch, or possibly something paranormal? Please share your thoughts on this in the comments below. Alright guys, so I'm joined here by Chris, who is a tour guide here at Q Station, and we're standing in the luggage disinfectant chamber, and he's just about to tell me about one of the resident ghosts that haunts this area. So.
Cool. Well, I brought you in here not because it's one of the more populated parts of the site, but because there is an 8-year-old girl called Marianne McSweeney, Irish descent. She died here in 1837 of a fever, actually just before the first hospital was built. Her ship was left at anchor just off the beach here, and she and her younger brother basically rotted away without any real treatment to speak of. So she is one of the older spirits on the site, at least older Caucasian spirits that we have. Very active poltergeist as well, so she is known for hand holding and tends to go towards people with fancy footwear, we've noticed.
Oh, that's not
me. She's about she's about waist high to me, little blonde pigtails and a pink dress, very, very noticeable when she runs around. And I guess I brought you in here because she knows we often introduce people to the ghost tours in this room, and so she'll sometimes sit in the autoclaves just behind us and actually pick out a body for the evening.
And does she follow this person around on the tour?
More often than not, yeah. They'll complain about something very small and cheeky, like tripping them as they're walking around, or pulling them towards things of interest. So I figured since we're exploring and finding things of interest, we may as well get her on board.
Yeah, I want to be friends with Marianne. You're here. Do you ever call out or try to make a contact with her? Is that...
She's a bit of a free spirit herself. You can generally get her attention just by talking about her and some of the things that she does, but we do often have other activities happening around the site, and so she may well be distracted by those too. She likes to haunt the weddings, for example. Yeah, along with her partner in crime is a 6-year-old called Isaac.
That's so cute.
Yeah, we get a few complaints about them popping in and harassing the living kids.
Because there's supposed to be a lot of kids, about 20, I read, that haunt the Q Station, right?
Yeah. It's hard to tell exactly how many are here because sometimes they come and they go, or they might appear for a year and then disappear for 3 or 4 and come back. But yeah, Marianne and Isaac, the whole time that I've been here, they have been as well.
Interesting. All right, I think that we should maybe try and call out to Marianne then. That's okay? You think she won't mind? Hi, Marianne, if you're in this room. My name is Amy and I've brought some friends along. You probably already know Chris. We would love to know that you're here or talk to you or see you. We don't mean you any harm. We're just looking for a friend to join us tonight. Are you able to make a noise or let us know that you're here? I just want to note we're super close to the ocean, so there's some waves as background noise. Why do you come to this room, Marianne? That sounds like people outside. Not ghost people.
Yeah. I don't know if it's helpful, but all of my attention about 30 seconds ago went to just in front of that trolley there where the wheel is, and the fingers of my right hand started going quite cold and numb.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She said to hold hands of the guests, right?
Yep.
Can usually feel a cold hand. If you're here, can you touch my hands or touch any one of us? Don't be shy. Can you make a noise? And Isaac is the other spirit that you normally joins?
Isaac is, he very rarely comes down this far, but there is another little girl called Maggie who sometimes runs around.
Oh. Maggie, are you here? Okay, so I might just explain what these big scary things are. So a lot of the people brought here under quarantine had their belongings put through these, and these were super state of the art for the time. It was almost like a gas chamber with steam that would come out and kill germs and whatnot on people's clothing and their belongings. So everything would be put through these machines when people were brought here. We're going to be here all night, so feel free to follow us around. If you want to talk to us or let us know that you are here at any time, please do so. Okay guys, we're in Australia now. So this is, I mean, compared to my finger, this is a small spider. He's just a huntsman though, he's not going to do any harm, he's alright. Alright guys, we've just entered one of the more notorious rooms here at Q Station. I'll call it notorious. So
that's a good word for it.
It's supposed to be quite active and hold a lot of spirits in here. So Chris is just going to explain what this place is and a little bit about it.
Alright, so we affectionately call this place the acid showers. Because at the start of the 1900s, our doctors thought that germs were getting in through your skin. And so as a preventative, to make sure that supposedly healthy people didn't spontaneously erupt into blisters and sores, what they did is they marched everybody in, straight off the ships, forced you to have a shower in the cubicles that we're going to be wandering through, and we mixed phenol into the water to create something called carbolic acid. And the best way to describe it is, imagine the worst sunburn you've had recently. It was like that, except given to you via chemicals. And then you shed a layer of skin like a snake for about a week. And unlike many other treatments which would have resulted in possibly death or maiming of the poor patient, this was one of the least harmful, at least long term.
Okay.
Yeah.
As someone who's very pale, I know how much sunburn can hurt, so I sympathise there.
Yeah.
What's the type of paranormal claims that are coming out of this building here?
Well, a lot of psychics who come in say that the place is very, very crowded, and it's a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of the personalities you get in here. I mean, I've had people walk in and actually see horses standing in the cubicles. We've had sightings of doctors, we've had sightings of patients that would have been, coming through on arrival. I'd argue those are more like memories that the building holds than actual ghosts.
Yeah.
But then you also get some pranksters, some real trickster poltergeists that often hang around just on top of the cubicles. So,
peeking over?
Yeah, and sometimes reaching for hair and stealing hats and sunglasses and things like that. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
I think this is going to be a cool one to investigate in here. Alright guys, I'm just pressing record now on a ghost tube session. This is in the shower room at Q Station. I'm just going to go for a walk down so that you guys can see what this place is like. I'm also going to enter one of the shower cubicles, which Chris just told me something happens to women in there. I don't know what, so I'm going to go and investigate that. I might just take you into one though, so we can kind of have a look at what this place looks like. So we've got, this looks like your little dressing room kind of area, and then here is the actual shower. And this comes down here. And there's supposed to be little peekaboo, like peep holes in here, so that people could be watched while they're in the shower. Is there anyone in this room with me? Please let me know that you're here. I feel like I hear something in here. This one's stuck. Hello? Let's go this way. Man, it's like super creepy in here. Okay, so we're at the end now. Looks like there's just a couple of toilets either side. We could be coming down here as well. There's just a long corridor again. If there's anyone here, let me know. I want you to say hello to me. So, I actually seen online before I came here, there's been apparitions photographed in this area. I saw one looking down this empty corridor here. And someone had taken a photo and it looked like a man standing there with a fedora hat on and a little kid. It's very strange. So, the third cubicle on this side, down from the ends, is active when women go in there. Should I go in by myself, Jared?
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3. Hello? Is there someone in here with me? Can you join me in the shower? Okay guys, I've just gone to night shot. I'm just going to close myself in this shower cubicle. And now that I've gotten to night shot, I'm in the complete darkness in this shower cubicle by myself. Okay. It's kind of weird in here. You can see the shower head just up here. Okay, I don't know who I'm supposed to meet in here. If you want to come and say hello, let me know that you're here. Also been told sometimes they'll pop their heads over these shower cubicles, which I actually think would really freak me out right now. Can you tap on this metal and let me know that you're here? Like this? I can hear noises around me, but I think they're just raindrops. What's your name? Who am I supposed to meet in here? I can't imagine taking a shower in here. These here. That's actually the little peephole that people get watched through, or used to get watched through when they're in the shower, and apparently a lot of people still feel as though someone is right there watching them. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here now, if I can. Jared. Turn around, Jared's just standing there like a creepy person. Alright, so do you feel anything in here, Jared?
I feel really warm. I think I wore too many layers today.
I feel really warm too. I think I'm just too
You are
hot
wearing
though.
a thick
I
jacket.
know. Alright, I can't see anything. Who's that? Alright guys, so I'm back in this same shower cubicle and I just want to explain the person that is said to usually haunt this place and who I was trying to meet in here. Apparently it's quite a young female spirit, aged maybe 16 to 18, and she had sort of bluish looking skin, long dark hair, and she usually appears in here very upset, distressed, and usually heard sobbing, saying things like, "My baby, where is my baby?" Some people have said that she has sort of blood splatters down the side of one of her legs across her white hospital gown that she's always seen in, and they don't really know what her story is. Like, they say that psychics have come in here and haven't been able to get much from her, but usually she'll appear to ladies in here, and usually, especially if someone's just recently fallen pregnant. So it's an interesting one and a sad one, and I think that this is just a common theme here at Q Station. There was a lot of people that passed through here, and there was a lot of horrible history that has occurred here too.
Let's look up. On this bar right in front of me.
Oh, another little friend, guys. It's not a ghost friend like I'm after. But it's spooky. And I was just in here with that. Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's looking at me. Should we close the door?
A little bit. Maybe two.
Alright guys, we have lights off because this is supposedly a light sensitive ghost, so we want to respect that, and that's why we're on night vision right now. And where are we, Chris?
We are in one of our inhalation chambers, which is just a nice way of saying gas chamber. And we were using this not to euthanize patients, but rather to try and cure them back in 1918 when the Spanish flu hit Australia. So there were a lot of soldiers that were brought through here and treated, and most of the sightings in here tend to be those military-based spirits. And the one that I'm actually hoping to get his attention, and if you're listening, then now's your chance to come out and make some more friends. His name's Jim. He's a spirit that I've known since basically the moment I started working here 6 years ago. Very, very tall entity, very dark as well. Tends to be described as a big black silhouette with a long coat and a wide hat, smelling of horses when he appears, which makes us think he was possibly cavalry. And he's friendly enough, not very talkative, but very touchy-feely if he's in the right mood. So I figured, yeah, it'd be fun to bring you in and see if he's...
I was going to ask if anyone else could smell this, like when we walked in, almost like straw.
Yeah, I could smell that.
Kind of
one.
like, yeah.
It's like,
Is that the smell of horses?
like hay or something. Like,
Yeah, is that just normal?
not to spoil the fun, but there is quite a bit of leaf litter in here.
Oh, I wasn't sure. It just distinct smell.
And you also get people who walk in and get very seasick for no reason. You get people who feel
I
really...
feel like I'm standing a little bit on water, but I don't know if that's just because I can hear the waves.
Possibly. It's a very, very firm concrete floor though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm moving.
I feel like I'm on Dad's boat.
Fair enough.
Hold on to the wall.
Yeah, actually I have had a few people get to that point where they do pass out and go sliding down the wall, so if it gets worse, yeah, let me know.
No, I'm alright. I'm used to it. It just feels weird because I know that I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I guess another detail about Jim, and it's part of the reason that he shows himself as just a black outline in a very dark room, is because he has some disfigurements from his time overseas. He's actually missing one of his eyes, and one of his cheeks has clearly been torn and then stitched back together, and it pulls his mouth to one side. And I actually heard this from several psychics over the years, but one of my favourites was a 6-year-old Aboriginal girl who, in broad daylight, in the middle of, like summer with all these like little kids running around playing with volleyballs outside, she was just standing in the middle of the room where we are, and I happened to walk in, and I said something along the lines of, "Are you okay? Do you need me to help you find your parents?" And she spun around and said, "What's your name?" I said, "Chris." And she said, "What about the guy behind you?" And I turned, and she was looking at the top of the door, but there was no one there. So I knew who it was based on the height. And I said to her, "Can you describe this guy?" And she started describing the coat and the hat and everything. And then when she eventually got to talking about his facial features, she said, "Oh, he's looking the wrong way. I can't tell you what his face looks like." So I said, "Ask him to turn around." She did, and it was like a fridge door open next to us. And I mean, it was definitely shorts weather, I was definitely sweating before that second where just cold bled into the room. And then she scrunched up her face and went, "Oh, geez, he's ugly." Because 6-year-olds.
Kids are way too honest.
Yeah, they are. But I do enjoy bringing them in because obviously kids are so sensitive to this stuff.
His name is Jim.
Jim, yeah.
Is this something that you learned through the psychics? They would come and find out his name, or has he spoken or communicated?
Well, we used to call him the tall man in the hat, or just the shadow, which was a little bit too cliche for us. And eventually there was someone on one of my tours asked me mid-sentence, tall man in the hat, that's a bit lame, like what's his actual name? And the name, a J name just flashed across my eyes, more or less.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't know what it had said, because for me I don't normally hear their voices or get that sort of communication. So I assumed it said John or James, and James sounded closer. So I was calling him James for almost 2 years. And then last year there was a lady standing with her back to the far wall, and mid-sentence as well, I said, "So I want to introduce you to my friend James," and she just went, "Oh, sorry, that's not it." And when I asked her, "What do you mean that's not it?" she turned to her left and looked almost up at the ceiling and said, "What did you say it was?" "He prefers Jim." That was
wow.
it. So, yeah.
It's probably like, he called me James.
Exactly. I felt like such a twit, especially since I consider this, one of my favourite ghosts. So, sorry, man.
Sorry, Jim. Alright guys, this is a spirit box in what I'm going to call Jim's room. And I'm going to try and reach out to this spirit here. Jim, are you here with us? If you are, can you come and say hello or let us know what your name is? It is Jim, right? Can you tell me where you're from, Jim? Why are you in this room? I just changed frequency because that one had a lot of interference. Jim, if you're here, can you come close and use this device in my hands to say hello or say something so that we know that you're here? Can you tell me how long you've been here at the quarantine station? Why do you hide in the shadows? We don't mean to harm you or hurt you, we just want to talk to you. Why did you come to this place? Can you tell me how long you've been here? You can use this box in my hands to say anything you want to us. Just let us know you're here. Jim. I feel like Jim might be the strong, silent type. So I don't know if he's going to try and talk to me through this. Alright guys, Chris has just brought us into a laundry here. And apparently there is one of the more, you said extreme hauntings?
One of the more gory spirits.
Gory? More gory. So I'm going to, for you guys, I can't actually see where he is. Chris.
I am here.
So do you want to explain a little bit about this room and what may or may not have happened here?
All right. Well, as far as the blood-soaked history of the site, this place is fairly peaceful because obviously it was a laundry room and they've converted it for use for theatrical productions and conferences and things like that. But at the start of the 1900s, there was a workman called William Hay. He was in his early 50s, supposedly a very lovely guy. And what happened was he was discovered dead next to a stable just behind the building. And he was found with, as far as the autopsy report is concerned, a single bullet wound to the head and a loaded gun laying next to him. And to be honest, that seems fair enough, given that people get sad and given that this place itself was just riddled with depression and misery and hopelessness. And we had armed guards, so for a workman to get his hands on a pistol wouldn't have been too difficult. But the problem is that when psychics come and talk to this spirit, they see him with not only a bullet wound to the skull angled downwards, which is what I like to call an execution wound, but on top of that, he has a secondary bullet wound in the torso in a fairly non-lethal position. And there are other psychics who've come in and who have actually heard signs of a struggle. They've heard male voices arguing and at least one female voice shouting, "He's not done yet, you idiots, get over here and get on with it." So
it seems a bit more suspicious.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And if there was some cover-up involved in his autopsy report, then it means that at least one of our doctors would have been perhaps involved as well. So there's a lot of rumour and suspicion around this particular ghost. But he's still a lovely guy. It's just that he's seen, covered in gore from the two bullet wounds.
Yeah,
So
just a full-on image.
yeah,
Interesting.
tends to spend most of his time either back there near the light switches as though he's trying to keep people away from them, or there's an archway just there, and he sometimes hides in the opposite room and sort of pops his head in and out of that wall there.
Maybe we should try and call out.
Absolutely.
It's William, was it?
William, yeah.
Should we cut the lights? Oh, I can hear people. There's other tours. Oh, I can. Really hot?
Yeah. He's sweaty.
I think it's warmer in here though.
Is it? Okay, good.
No, don't stress. William, are you in here with us? Can you come close and say something to me? Do you remember what happened to you here? Do you know who hurt you? I think maybe might be shy with the camera. Can you make a noise somewhere in this room? I don't know what that was. Was that even in here? I don't know what that noise is. Can you just film up here?
What?
I feel like I just sent a light up here. There's noises coming from outside of this building. William, what happened to you here? I think we might even be. So a lot of the times when we do these sessions, if we pick something up, can't really review in the moment. So I'll be reviewing this obviously when I edit. But if you hear any weird noises or anything at any point in my video, always point them out to me in the comments, guys. Alright guys, I've actually brought one of my childhood best friends along with me. This is Jess, and she's super shy to be on camera. But when we walked into this room, she had something weird happen to her, and I just want her to explain this weird thing. Right, what happened?
When you guys were filming over there, I was just looking up on the beams, and as I come walking past here, I got like really hot, sweaty, like I had a hot flush sort of thing. But it's gone now, and I haven't had it since.
And Chris was just saying this is like where they would dry all the towels and stuff, so maybe there's something residual, some energy left over from the laundry. Like doing the laundry in your past life.
Yeah.
Oh, I can.
Hot.
Really hot?
Yeah.
Oh, I can.
Hot.
Really hot?
Yeah.
Oh, I can. Really hot?
Yeah.
Right, so we've explored quite a few buildings down here on the lower levels of the Q station, so we're just going to go up a bit higher. This place is massive. It's on, I think it's 30 hectares or something insane. So there's a lot of different buildings, a lot of different places, and a lot of different hauntings that we're trying to cover tonight. Can you make that noise twice in a row? I guess this is the autopsy table.
Sort of like he was standing at the foot of the bed and it took a few steps closer to you as though it was trying to listen.
There's also supposedly a demonic entity in here. So this is apparently where nurses have been seen. And there was people that died on these beds. Is anyone else here scratching at the back of the room? Oh my god! Can you hold that on them? Because I want to zoom in more. Oh, the little one's just peeking out. The big one's looking away now, like annoyed that we have this torch shining on it. Okay, I'm gonna leave them be. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to subscribe because I have a part 2 coming really soon where we explore some other areas of the Q station and continue our investigation. If you did like this video though, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. You guys can also follow me at AmysCrypt on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Until next time.